believe?
I think so.
Okay. Now, Commissioners, we will need to make a motion to go into closed session to deal with personnel items. You know what those personnel items are.
Well, the personnel items, the interviews that were previously planned, or are we going to discuss correspondence that was received yesterday?
Both of those items are now open for a motion to go into closed session.
Well, I would like to suggest that we address the correspondence part in open session because I don't see anything closed about it.
Okay,
And
so
this-
shall
okay.
we take one at a time?
Sure.
Okay, let's begin with the interviews for which are personnel matters. Is there a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Section 10-508A1? I think it is 8, right, Denise? No, 1. Personnel, to discuss or to do the interviews. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Davis, second by Commissioner Collins. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's unanimous. Okay, now, is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss, I don't even know what I can say here, the letter?
Well, I don't think, is there anything secretive about the letter? Wouldn't it be on our mail log for public display anyway? I mean, there's nothing confidential about the letter, am I correct?
I'll defer to county attorney.
I don't know.
I mean, can I mention who the letter is from and what it addresses, and we can discuss it either in open if voted on or closed if voted on?
Until it's discussed in closed session, you are free to do that. But if the decision is to go into closed session, then those items discussed are not
Okay.
available for public discussion.
Is the letter, as it currently exists, Ms. Holtz, confidential or in some other way inappropriate for us to mention? I guess that's the question.
I believe it came in the regular mail and was listed on the mail log.
It came in as an email.
Email.
So is it considered regular mail?
It came in as an email, and I don't believe it was.
So it's not entered on the mail log.
But it was not
Therefore,
listed as personal and confidential in any way either. That's why I'm not jumping out with mentioning names until I'm sure that it's okay for me to do that.
Well, that's the question, Ms. Holtz. If it came in as an attachment to an email to the clerk, it was not marked confidential, or was it? Can anyone tell me? It was not marked confidential. Does that make it,
And it was addressed specifically to Commissioner President Kelly.
who seemed to know nothing?
Let me say this. The open meetings law allows items to be discussed in public and in certain circumstances to be discussed in closed session. As I understand the content of this item, this letter, this email, it is eligible for closed session. So perhaps you want to make that decision first. If it's decided to go into closed session, that decides it. If you decide to stay into open session, you're free to discuss it, of course.
Okay.
Thank you. So
So I will ask, do I need to make a motion, or can I just look for consensus on discussing this openly and see if we have consensus to do that?
I think,
Or should I just make a motion? I move that we discuss the letter in question here in open session.
okay, is there a second? I will second that motion. Well, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Do you want some more clarification? I don't want to proceed if you're confused.
Correspondence seems simple enough, but I just want to make sure we're not doing anything that we necessarily have to, because even there was a follow-up to the letter, which, again, right.
The follow-up muddied the waters a little more than the initial email letter that was received yesterday, because now there are 3 different possibilities concerning this. And for me, it transitions into some of the questions that I had for council last week. And I don't think I went far enough last week in terms of my questioning of you or Ms. Theobald's.
Okay.
But if you have questions that are legal, perhaps
She answered
that
them.
answers the question, that it needs to be done in legal.
I believe that these questions were answered in the affirmative, were answered already, so now it's no longer a legal question, correct? well,
I'm not a lawyer.
Unless it needs to be discussed further.
yeah, I mean,
Madam Chair.
let me just be clear, what the request for closing this matter is not legal, it is personnel. Because legally, we
Yeah.
understand from the county attorney that there is no legal problem with this. So, is everyone clear on that? Yeah, now, so-
I see the person, that's the difference.
So that's why it's not a legal matter. It could be a personnel matter, or it does not have to be. There's no
Right.
requirement that it
That's
should be
exactly
a personnel
correct.
matter. And again, everybody has their opinions on this, and I respect that. For me, it's because it's a very important issue that has...
I think it's a very important issue for all five of us, but from different vantage points. So
but
I-
for our citizens. So that's where we are. You know, everybody has a right to their opinion. You've made the motion. I made the second that we deal with it as an open session. I want to, so we've had a little bit more discussion. Does anybody else want to add anything or have any questions? I don't want to cut anybody off. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
I'm an A, I think that's a kind of
Okay.
iffy.
Yeah, looking at it from personnel, it's
Okay.
different.
All righty. You're opposed to it. So now we'll need a motion to go into closed session to discuss the same letter pursuant to Section 10508A1 of the annotated code, which determines that it's a personnel matter. Okay? Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rucci. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Davis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Okay. So we will now move into closed session, and we'll return